And public affairs analyst Idris Bawa joins me now via Skype from Abuja for a review of the president's speech. Good to have you join us, Idris Bawa. We've seen this phased and gradual easing of the lockdown directive coming from the president. Before that, all that came from the president, the NLC called for such a move. But some people are worried. They say, look, we haven't ramped up testing and we could see a spike in cases. What's your opinion on this?
Well, thank you for having me. First and foremost, we would like to commend the president for taking the initiative to roll out the plans that the government has for the entire country. For me, I think it is too early for us to say we want to ease the lockdown. If you look at what is happening, particularly in Kano, that is where we are afraid of, because issues surrounding community spread is what we are dealing with now. And as we all know, we are a community that, relate with each other. Physical distancing, which is being preached, or the one we call social distancing, is not something that we are used to. I think, again, the word social distance is something that we are misinterpreting. Let's use the right word, physical distancing, and people should learn to keep proper hygiene. I tell you that even as we speak, there are other means by which the virus can be transmitted. For instance, the Naira note, where you go to the market, you have a change of maybe somebody who is infected with the virus has contact with those Naira note through the droplets. That can also transmit to another person. So for us to say we are going to face a gradual, easing of the lockdown, well, I think it's too early for us to call for that.
All right. Allow me to jump in here, because you mentioned the Naira note. We know that the virus can stay on surfaces for a long time. So again, it's just generally about surfaces and not even about currency. But I want to ask you, because we see how subjective people interpret or interpretation of the lockdown directive in the past weeks have been largely subjective. And the president also said that selected businesses and offices can open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. How do you see that working out?
What is the criteria set for us to determine which of those businesses that should be open? That is something that calls for question. Again, if you look at we are a nation where we earn daily rate, we are a daily survivor nation, which is what we are. And we know that that is difficult for us to maintain. But again, if you say because people are suffering and you want to subject more Nigerians to expose them to this virus, I think it's too early for us to start talking about easing the lockdown. Well, like the phasing which the federal government is talking about, what are the criteria? How do we ensure the phasing of this lockdown? What are the measures put in place to ensure that this phasing will be effective? I can tell you for free that some parts of even FCT, where we are talking about total lockdown, there's no total lockdown, because people still move about, their businesses, and you see cars on the road, vehicles on the roads, people going to do one or two things, which is not supposed to be. In other developed countries, when somebody, in fact, one person is the person that is allowed to go out to go and get certain facilities for the family. And once the person is coming back, whatever clothes the person is wearing is dropped outside, clean up, in fact, sometimes fumigate the person's body before the person can come in, so that the effect of transmitting the virus to members of the family is reduced. All of these are measures that we don't have here. What we preach is social distancing, washing our hands regularly, and the issue of Naira note, which I just talked about, is something that is very real. That even in Italy, one of the reports I read, part of the reason why the spread was so much in Italy was because people were making use of, those droplets in their currency were part of the thing that made the thing to spread. So enlightenment, education is what we should be doing now. As we speak, some persons don't still believe that COVID-19 is real. And that is a big challenge. What are we doing to ensure that people understand that this is real and we need to deal with it.
Absolutely. Public affairs analyst Idris Bawa, many thanks for talking to TVC News.